everybody, and welcome back to another 6-scale figure review with me, your host, that Mania. And today, it's going to be a fun week because we have the Threezero Zeo Power Rangers finally in hand. A nice 5-pack of Rangers. So how we're going to do this, I'm going to do it in a way where I have smaller videos of each individual Ranger, Zeo 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then at the end of the week, if you just want to wait for that, we're going to have all the Rangers together, just make it one long video. But, you know, sometimes somebody just buys an individual, like Zeo Red or Zeo Blue for some reason. So I like to break it down, give people the opportunity to just see the one that they want. So that's how we'll be doing it. So if you're here for the individual Ranger, then welcome to the video. If you're here for the mega review, then strap in, it's going to be a good one. So here's the box. Nice box. I like it. It's them holding their super weapon that they always have to have so they could blow up the monster at the end, and it makes them feel better about themselves. I like it. I like the art around it. On the back here, we have some just defining shots. We got some pictures of the gun. We got them all calling their Zords at the bottom. We got all this good stuff. On the top here, it does have the Zeo logo. The side has some Zeo stuff. Bottom has some regular boring stuff, and the side here does show our 5 Rangers once again. So, depending on which video you are watching, we are going to move on to the next part. And here we have Zeo 2 Yellow. So, this is going to be pretty much the same kind of figure as Pink, but in yellow, with its own slight weird detail issues and something very glaringly wrong with it overall, which we will talk about in the next part here. But for the most part, I think it does work. It is nice. It is yellow. I like the visor here a bit more than Pink. It's not my favorite. We'll get to my favorite. You know, it kind of works its way up to favorite. But for the most part, it is yellow. I've never been a huge yellow Ranger fan, you know, I'm an avid red guy. But, you know, having a yellow Ranger in the collection isn't bad. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you know, it's not quite my forte. Anyway, why don't we get, what is it, Aisha, right, off of the spinning turntable here and talk about everything that she comes with. So for starters, just like every other Ranger in this set, we have the blaster pistol, which does look cool. I love this thing. It's got a very nice white, black, and red color scheme to it, which does it for me. The gold looks really good. It's got little engraved indents on there, so it does look solid overall. This piece feels a little loose, though. I feel like it could come off if you're not careful. It does open up, so we can make our Power Rangers Mega Blaster. But obviously, we're not making a Power Rangers Mega Blaster right now, so we're not opening it up. Or we did open it up, but we're not using it. We do have our Extendo sword here, which does look cool, and the radio antenna does extend. Be very careful with this, because, you know, it'll break. It'll definitely break, so you got to be very careful with it. But just like the blaster and everything else, it's got little Zeo gold on there. It's got a nice blue. The blue is really off-putting. Blue is not really a Zeo color here. White and black, sure, but blue doesn't feel very Zeo to me. So that kind of throws me off a little bit. But other than that, it's got a nice little pointy tip there. And, you know, if you do extend it into sword mode, it does have a bigger version so that it actually looks more like how it is when they have it in sword mode. So that's cool as well. You get a little bit bigger. And then we have her iconic Yellow Ranger weapons, which are these 2 thick yet very cool pairs of nunchucks. So you can see, you know, it is not without its Zeoing as well. It's got a bit of gold stuff action there, but they are just these big, thick nunchucks, which do look cool. Power Rangers with a nunchuck, you know, kind of copying Michelangelo a little bit. Yellow Ranger with nunchuck. Orange Turtle with nunchuck. So, but it does look good. This might be my second pair of 6-scale nunchucks. I think the first one being with John Wick from the 4th movie. So, enough about that. Let's talk about the glaring issue with this Yellow Ranger. As you see here, and this is not a camera trick, The yellow is a completely different shade on the helmet than it is on the suit. It's really not, it's really noticeable. Like, I don't know how this ended up as like a darker yellow. Like, this is like bumblebee yellow and this is like lemony yellow. I really don't know where the disconnect was in the olfactory department, but it doesn't look great. It honestly looks like it's the wrong helmet. I know it's the right helmet, but it looks like the wrong helmet on the figure, and it takes me out. It loses my immersion, let's say, because it just, like, how do you screw up something so simple as the shade of yellow you're using for your Yellow Ranger that should just be unifiedly yellow? I think even on the box it's the right color yellow. It is. On the box it's the correct color yellow. So I don't know how they ended up with this darker yellow. This is like the yellow they use for the previous Yellow Ranger. This is like Yellow Ranger yellow helmet. And this one all matched. So I really don't know what happened there. And it's jarring. But here's the helmet. It's got another wonderful shape-tacular face. We've got two long ovals, which, if her eyes are like in the middle here, then have fun seeing anything. Hopefully you can see through one of those. Because if not, then it's over for you, pal. You can't see anything through that one. But we do have another indent here. Nice little indent. And then going around we have, you know, just the regular rest of the wrong shade of yellow helmet. So that's the Yellow Ranger helmet. Moving down, we do have a very Zeo Christmas kind of outfit. We've got some Zeo effects going around here, and they do go around back. Just a little thinner. Just like with all the other Rangers, the stitching here is very noticeable, not hidden at all. Which, again, if you're looking from the back of a Ranger, if your Ranger collection is just looking from the back, why are you doing that? There's no reason to have your Rangers facing backwards, I guess. So, obviously, it is ugly, but it is not ugly from the front. So, that's a good thing. Coming back around, we do have this nice crisp white here. It's almost, some people might complain that it is a silvery, but it is more white than silver. Coming down, we do have our yellow outfit, which actually looks like yellow, and how I feel like it should be, because it was a slightly different shade of yellow than the Mighty Morphin Yellow. We do have our gauntlets here, which have some Zeo and white. And then we have our Zeo belt here, which does have, you know, all 4 of the Zeo shape, or 5 of the Zeo shapes on there. There are 5 Rangers after all. It was foolish of me. And then we do just have pretty straightforward pants here. We have our nice Zeo boots here. Can you not? Alright, now that they've finished protecting me from the neighbor's car beeping, what was I saying? Oh, yes, the legs, they are just straight yellow. And then we have our Zeo boots here, which do have our Zeo-tacular shapes, which are fun little Zeo shapes. You know, Zeo Ranger's big on geometry. And we have our white boots, which do have heels, a little bit of a heel, which is kind of annoying for the Ranger, but, you know, whatever. I'm not Rangering, they are. But for the most part, that is our Zeo Yellow. So why don't we break out some more Rangers and get them all together. And here we have a tale of 3 yellows. We have 3 different shades of yellow currently in front of me, and it is kind of jarring to look at, because, I mean, what? Why is it so yellow? Why is every yellow a different shade of yellow? Could they not just pick one consistent yellow and go with it? Obviously, the movie one is going to be the most drastically different because it's the movie one, and they just did whatever the hell they wanted, and then Fox buried the movie forever and ever, and we'll never, ever, ever see it again. But maybe one day, now that Disney owns Fox, maybe they'll be like, oh, we're going to replay the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie in theaters for one night and one night only. You never know. That could be fun. I would go to that. But the 3 yellows here, despite being, you know, drastically different and everything looking really weird, they do look fine with each other. I think these are kind of weaker looking next to each other as opposed to maybe some like red or blue. I don't know. I think it's just because this middle yellow has some glaring issues. This one on the left is really bright banana yellow, and the one on the right is like different. They're not consistent in what they want to be, so it's not really overall conveying yellow. Anyway, let's take this figure and move it on to articulation. Zeo Ranger. So the heads are kind of weird because they get like this bulbous like front neck thing going on here. Like they have a hunch at all times, and I don't know if I can fix it because it makes their neck look really long. But life ending 360 degrees, up that far, down that far, and back and forth. Arm goes up that far. Arm goes up that far. Arm goes back that far. And you get about a 90 at the elbow. Not too much. There is ab crunch. There is another beautiful leg spread. Be careful. Just don't rip the pants there. Leg goes up as far as you need it to. Leg goes back as far as you need it to. Which is not much. Solid knee bend at the knee. And then ankle articulation is free for days. So she can get in just as many good poses as a ninja would. Or not a ninja, I guess a shape person in this case would. Geometry. So Zeo2 Yellow here is another shape-tacular figure that has its faults, but in the long run it's going to probably be blended in to the other Zeo Rangers, so you're not going to really be looking too deeply into it, I'd assume, because as a team you'll have that, I guess, that team lineup kind of covering the faults of the most, you know? A team can be brought down by its weakest link, but I think in this case, if you have the whole team lined up, most people will probably just be like, oh my god, you have the Power Rangers, and they probably won't be looking too much at the helmet color, or the seam lines on the back, or the way she jarringly kind of has this weird, like, hunch on her body that I can't seem to get rid of overall. Zeo2 here so far, not my favorite. I mean, she's not horrible, but she's really not giving me any reason to like her too much overall, which is not really her fault. It's more Threezero's fault for making her this way. She can't control that she is how she is. It's just not her fault. Anyway, if you've picked up Zeo2 here, thank you for joining me on this video venture. I've lost my train of thought completely. Thank you for joining me on this video venture. We do have 3 more Zeo Rangers to go, which is very exciting. But for now, Yellow, what can I say? I'm glad that I do have her. I just feel like I wish she was a little bit better. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe, because the channel has been doing really nicely recently, and Power Rangers weeks are always my favorite. I love them so much because there's so much to talk about. Usually the Power Rangers are really good. I loved So-So Toys when I was getting all of those and the Toys Battalion stuff at the same time. The Power Rangers lull in the in-between has been really sad because I haven't had any Rangers. I'm out of Ranger space for now. So I don't know where I'm going to put the Turbo ones when they show up, or the Red Rangers that So-So Toys has coming out. But I'll find out when I get there, because, you know, we have nothing but time. Hopefully that means that's not a reference to the fact that Time Force is getting figures. I wish they were. I desperately wish we were getting Time Force, but we're not there yet. But as always, I've been me, and you've been you, and thank you for watching another 6-scale figure review. Hopefully you join me next time when we review something maybe new. I will see you then.